Republican Congresswoman Cammack of Florida joins me now. I'm just very confused as to how the double standard exists here, with the far left basically decrying the violence that has been going on in Washington, D.C., but yet not condemning the violence that's been carried out against police officers, not just in our nation's capital, but all over the country. Why aren't these people being charged with hate crimes?
Well, good to see you, Julie. And I've been asking the exact same question. I find it exceptionally ironic that the very people calling for a ceasefire are the very first to engage in violence. And we've seen that in our capital. We're seeing that in cities around the country. And I just cannot wrap my head around how people are so obtuse that they cannot bring themselves to recognize the 200+ hostages, the atrocities that have taken place in Israel. And yet they want to, at the same time, for calling for a genocide of an entire nation from the river to the sea, want to turn around and try to pull at the heartstrings of individuals like myself and other leaders who are really doing what we should be all doing, which is standing with our friends and ally Israel and peacefully expressing opinions. But as we saw in Washington a couple of nights ago on Capitol Hill, violence is their answer, and they are absolutely hypocrites for their actions and cowards to boot, because they all cover their faces. It's a shame, and we have to call it out at every turn.
I want to talk about this map that was posted last night and since deleted, not by their will, but of course social media stepped in, as they should. This controversial statement was posted and then deleted by a pro-Palestinian activist group. It reads this: "May this map serve as a call for every struggle to act in their own interest. As we do so, we uplift one another's struggles and free Palestine from the river to the sea." It continued repeating the Palestinian Liberation Organization mantra adopted by Hamas that calls for the eradication of Israel. You know, intifadas are targeted attacks against Jews, okay? This is now becoming such an out-of-control situation, and I can't understand, you know, with leading Jewish leaders calling upon the Biden administration to step in and do something. Why aren't they doing anything? I understand these people have the right to protest, but this is violent. And this is protesting that, in fact, is protesting against violence in Gaza. So clearly hypocritical. But where is the DOJ in all of this?
Exactly. You know, the fact that the White House has established, in the midst of this incredible surge in anti-Semitism around the country, their answer was to create an office addressing Islamophobia in the country, when our Jewish brothers and sisters are experiencing incredible increases in anti-Semitism, hate crimes, being targeted. This map is just the latest in a slew of assaults and attacks on them. And again, where is the Biden White House? We had over 200,000 peaceful people in our nation's capital standing in solidarity with Israel. Not a single incident and not a single word out of the White House. They sent an envoy, but not the vice president, not the president. There was nobody. And you know, it's just a shame. Today, in my office in Gainesville, Florida, we're going to have pro-Hamas protesters at my office. Their goal is to intimidate. Their goal is to really disrupt our way of life.
I want to talk about your office. And speaking of the White House, you know, President Biden thanked the officers who faced down those violent protesters outside the Democratic Party headquarters Wednesday. Listen. 6 officers injured, punched and pepper sprayed. Capitol Hill on lockdown. You can see the video on the screen. You can hear the screaming and the absolute chaos. But one of the groups behind the demonstration says this, and I quote, "Our protest was non-violent. Capitol Police brutally attacked us with no warning." Congresswoman, you know, you were locked down on the Hill during all of this, and you posted, and I read it, and I retweeted it, or re-X'd it. I don't know how we call that anymore these days. Anyway, you posted. Anyone else notice how violent the so-called ceasefire crowd is? Will Cain says this, that these protests show the big divide in the Democratic Party. Watch.
The left has adopted the oppressor-oppressed mindset. They see the Palestinians as the oppressed. And so when you see those people outside the DNC, they're not there in front of Republican congressmen who they've already written off. They're there after their own side, who they feel like has betrayed them philosophically.
House Democratic leadership, meantime, has condemned the violence, but crickets from the far left squad. And that is the problem here. First of all, yes, the Democratic Party has condemned the violence in Washington, D.C. The far left squad is not condemning the violence that I just spoke about earlier against these officers. A woman, a female police officer, was punched in the face. Not a word from these so-called women from the far left who are decrying violence on January 6th. But then when this happens, not a word.
No, Julie. I mean, and as the wife of a first responder, my husband is a firefighter and a SWAT medic. I just get so it hurts my heart, my soul, seeing what these officers, seeing what these first responders go through and trying to manage and respond to these incidents. And for that group to say that they were peaceful, that's a bunch of horse crap. I was on Capitol Hill. I heard the clashes between Capitol Police and these protesters. They are for genocide. They are for an entire annihilation of the Israeli people. And I spoke to the officers because I was essentially a sitting duck. I couldn't get access onto Capitol Hill. I was on the outside of the barriers. And as I'm talking to one of the officers, she was visibly shook up, saying, we've had officers pepper sprayed. It's getting more and more violent. They continue to barricade the doors and exits where members are trying to exit. The Democrat Party is going to have to really come to a decision of who they are and what they want to be. They have situational ethics, as far as I'm concerned. They'll only condemn violence when it's against key groups. Yeah. But when it comes to carte blanche of condemning violence and hate speech, they're very selective. Yeah. So they've got some things they've got to work out, but I think that they're having an identity crisis.
And our Vice President Kamala Harris, when she finally addressed the issue while condemning the anti-Semitism in this country, the White House did, she comes out and develops a strategy for defeating Islamophobia, which, if you look at all the pro-Israel rallies, they are peaceful. The other side, not so much. And the White House seems to turn a blind eye to that. Congresswoman Cammack, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks, Julie. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.